Hey guys, welcome to a story time video. These aren't new to YouTube, but I have lots of stories and therefore I'm going to tell you them. This particular story, as you can tell by the title of this video, is a day that I busted my ass. Literally busted my ass. And I told this story on Twitch a few weeks ago and I wanted to expand it to you guys because I don't think very many people saw it or heard it, but it is a pretty funny story. So this was about 3 years ago. It was Labor Day weekend 4 years ago, and I was at a bachelorette party on a boat. We here in Missouri, like, it's a very common thing for people to like go to the lake. There's lakes everywhere, but like you just generically say we're going to the lake. And so for this particular friend's bachelorette party, she had wanted to go to the lake and spend the day on a boat. And so we contacted somebody, we rented a boat, and this type of boat was, and I don't know a lot about boats. I'm not, a skipper, or I don't know, a difference between like a dinghy and the port bow, whatever. I don't know. I think a dinghy is a kind of a boat. I don't know. Anyway, my point being, I don't know anything about boats. But this particular type of boat was a boat where you could get on the back, and the back of the boat had like U-shaped seating for people. But it also then you could go into like a galley type of thing. And there was like a kitchen and the bathroom. It was a bathroom. It was like this. It was smaller than this chair. It was just like a Harry Potter type closet that you could pee in, and then you were done. So it had that, and then it had kind of this bed thing where the boat came to a point in the front, and then you could open, I'm gonna call it a porthole, but apparently that is the wrong terminology, as I was informed by Twitch chat. There was like, it was a circle that you could, like pop up in, and then you could go through this circle and go onto the top part of the boat where it bowed forward, it like pointed forward, and you could lay out on the front part of the boat. And so I guess this is typical for a lot of boats. I don't know, I'd never been on a boat of this type. Most of the boats I'd been on were speed boats or fishing boats. They were never, I'd never been on a boat with a kitchen. Like, let's be honest, that's too fancy for me. So this type of boat had that, where you could crawl through, you could go up the porthole thing, and then you could go out onto the surface. So obviously this is a bachelorette party. We have drinks, we have mimosas, we have some different things that we're consuming on the boat, but nobody is drunk. It is very not safe, PSA, to get drunk anytime you're around boats, water. It's very accident, and all the people that I were with were being very responsible. So we were consuming alcohol, but nobody was drunk. Nobody was like overly tipsy. So the first time I told this story, people were like, oh, you were wasted. No, I was not wasted. I was drinking disclosure, so I was a little not, my balance was a little off, but I was nowhere near drunk. I was nowhere near inebriated. Also, we had a hired driver, so like that was okay. Safety first, kids. So we were having fun, but nobody was, out of control. So this was actually pretty early. We'd gotten onto the boat about 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, and we were planning on being there until like 6 o'clock at night. And at that point, we were gonna go back to the docks. We were gonna dock off. Everyone was gonna shower. We were gonna go to dinner, and we were gonna go out to some bars and stuff later that night to like celebrate her bachelorette party. So we get on the boat. We're enjoying it. It's very misty. It's very rainy in the morning. It's not a good day to be on the boat. But as the morning progresses, the sun starts to come out. We're all like, okay, now this isn't going to be so bad. Now we can actually be in our swimsuits and not feel like we're dying because it was cold. And so as, the sun starts to come out and we all start to, warm up and the day starts to progress, we're all starting to get a little bit happier. We're starting to get a little bit more cheery, more cheerful. And it was just, you could tell that the overall attitude of everybody in the boat was just getting a lot happier. Everyone was a lot more comfortable, etc. So I'm out on the top part, the front part where I'd crawled through the porthole with a group of probably 4 of the 10-ish girls that we were with. So there's 4 of us there, and we were 2-3 hours into being on this, boat, and we'd all kind of been hunkered in the galley because it was cold. And so as the sun starts to come out, I'm up on, this deck, I'm sunning, we're having a couple drinks, whatever. And I decide that I need to use the restroom. And me, in this situation, I only knew like 2 of the girls that were in this group of 10. I knew the girl who was getting married, I knew the girl whose bachelorette party it was, and I had 1 other friend that was there. But the other 8 people, I didn't know. And I have like 2 personalities around people that I don't know. I become Homer Simpson backing into the bushes where like, nobody look at me, nobody look at me, nobody look at me, how did they see me? That's one mood. The second mood is I become a hyper version of myself where I'm very quirky, I'm very outgoing, and in those types of situations, it's usually A, because I don't think I'm ever going to see people again, so I don't care what they think, which was this situation. So I was quirky, I was being funny, and 2, because everyone had been kind of cranky, somebody needed to be the cheerleader for the group. Somebody needed to like pioneer these girls and like get them really rallied around the fact that like, we're here, we're celebrating, like, let's not let the rain get us down, man, like, let's do this, right? So I was being myself, but probably a more extended hyper version of who I normally would be in a social situation because it needed it, right? I was the hero that they needed, not that they deserved because of what is about to happen. So keep in mind, I'm trying to be very outgoing, I'm trying to be very bubbly, I'm trying to kind of get people rallied around the fact that like, let's not let the rain get us down, the sun's starting to come out, let's celebrate, whatever. And so as I'm with these group of 4 girls, I'm like, hey guys, I'll BRB, I gotta go to the restroom. So how do I get up through the porthole? How do I get back down through the porthole? So me being an idiot, and also being hyper and trying to be cute in front of these people, I decide that I'm not going to slink down into this porthole, right? I'm going to do what like every Daisy Duke kind of like supermodel does in photos where they're like, I'm just gonna jump down this porthole. And I try to do this like hop, like I try to put my hand on the boat and try to just like whoop down this porthole. Portholes are about this big. Guys, my left thigh is about this big. I should have known that me being the, curvier type of girl that I am not going to just jump down a porthole that is the exact size of my body. Like that is not going to happen. That's not physics, you guys. I was the square peg trying to fit in a round hole, and me trying to be smooth thought I could just hop down, and that is not, you can't do that in a porthole. So I busted my ass. Literally, as I go to hop down, I land with my tailbone. Let me paint this for you. Here's my coffee cup, okay? So the porthole is a hole, but because they have to be waterproof, it's not a flat hole that you jump down. There is a metal ridge that goes up and over this whole thing. It's a pointed thing because then the hatch like closes over it and it locks. So there is a metal rim around this hole that's like sticks up and over, and I managed to like land with my tailbone on that metal thing. Not only did I land with my tailbone on the metal thing, I landed so hard, y'all, it actually shook the boat. Like, we're talking, I was standing to that in about a half of a second. And the pain, instantly, I was actually gagging on vomit because it hurt so badly the second that I landed my full 135 pounds, 140 pounds landed, boom, right on that porthole with all of the force and gravity that I had on that metal rim, on my tailbone. Let's not get more graphic, but on my tailbone. And it shook the boat. There was a huge thud. Everyone looked at me and I was like, I'm good. and I slinked down like I should have originally into the hole and just kind of like curled up in this ball like, I'm gonna vomit, I'm gonna die. Like, the pain was so intense. Now, also keep in mind that we're on a boat. There is no like Tylenol, there's no like ibuprofen, there's nothing. And we're on a boat, and I'm not about to ruin this girl's bachelorette party by being like, excuse me, I'm in pain. Can we drive back to the shore so I can continue dying, not on the water? No. So I decide, you know what? This really hurts. Maybe it's just like when you bang your funny bone, or if you like roll your ankle, or maybe it'll just hurt for like an hour and then it'll go away. That is not what happened. So I, you know, go to the restroom, take care of my business, whatever. Go back up, everyone's like, are you okay? Are you okay? I'm like, dude, that like seriously hurt. We're all trying to laugh it off. So we go through the rest of the day. We're having fun. We're, you know, being girls, whatever, hanging out with everybody else on the lake, just having a good old time. And I'm not also the kind of person that, like, if I'm in pain but I'm having a good time, I can kind of like decompartmentalize and put that to the back of my brain and focus on trying to have fun. So it really wasn't that bad for the rest of the day. Later that day, when we get back, we go to dock, we get off the boat, we go to change, we shower, we whatever, and I'm still feeling like, man, this hurts. But again, I landed with the full force of my entire body on a piece of metal on my tailbone. Of course it's gonna hurt. I never in my mind did I think that like, oh, I bet this like bruise, it is whatever. Like, also it's my tailbone. Like, I'm not gonna check that out. So later that night, we all get changed. I'm wearing like a jean, like mini skirt and like an orange tank top. I have plenty of photos from this night also. So I you know, we're out or whatever. We're kind of at this bar, and I'm sitting on a bar stool, and I had a low-rise skirt on. And so when I sat down, the low-rise skirt kind of fell down a little bit. And no like butt crack worthy, but just it came down a little bit. And one of the girls in the group was like, what's on your back? And I was like, what do you mean what's on my back? And she goes, what's on your back? And so we turn around and I look. I am bruised, you guys, black, like this, from the inside of my thigh up around my whole butt cheek to the top like of my hip bone. That is how hard. And I guess either being in a swimsuit, we just didn't notice, or like, I mean, no one was like checking out my inner thigh or anything. Like, I mean, nobody was looking, or someone noticed and didn't say anything and just figured like, dude, that girl totally busted her ass when she fell earlier. But I hadn't known. So I was like, oh, well, this makes sense. Like, why now I'm in such pain, because I had bruised the entire like left side of my body from the inner side of my leg all the way up around to the top of my bone, because I tried to be cute and jumped down a porthole. That is the story of my life. Try to be cute, bust ass. Also how I broke my ankle. Try to be cute, did the Carlton, fell and broke my ankle. Like, I think that the lessons that I'm learning now at 30 are like, I just can't pull off cute. So don't try, because I'll bust my ass. So that's the story of how I fell and broke myself for one of the many times that it's happened. PSA to everybody, don't be cute and try to jump down a porthole unless you are shaped like a flagpole, because it won't happen. It is not, portholes are not made for curvy women. Petition to increase the average size of a porthole. Maybe it was just this boat. I don't know. But that's it. That's how it worked. I apologize to anyone whose boat language I offended, that I didn't get right. Not a sailor. Don't know. These are just my terminology, the way my brain works. Thank you guys for tuning into the story time. Let me know in the comments below if you want more. I think we might talk about my 21st birthday in the next one. But if you have other stories or things that you want to hear, high school stories, etc., whatever, let me know. And I will see you guys soon. Bye!